I once had a conversation with a woman who risked life-threatening cosmetic surgery to please a man who ended up cheating and knocking up his coworker, and yet she was still feeling bad about trying to block him because even though he had a pregnant lover, he insisted that she was the one being mean if she blocked his access to her sympathy and her new body. He was trying to make her feel bad for his self-imposed problems. Why do we feel so much guilt over avoiding people who play the perpetual victim? You know, the kind of people who get offended when their feelings aren't taken into consideration, but they rarely, if ever, consider yours. Hello friends, my name is Maria, and my whole life I was terrified of setting boundaries when it came to people who could care less about my thoughts and feelings. That is, until the day I sat down, painted my nails, and realized maybe I wasn't their problem. Maybe this person who's emotionally torturing me had already made choices in their own life that were causing them unhappiness before I ever came into the picture. Today I have a man who pursued a woman who was lying to his face and playing the field. He feels guilty because he drew a reasonable boundary, walked away, and blocked her, but now he feels bad. He feels guilty for blocking her. Selfish people can be so demanding you cater to their feelings, you get used to neglecting your own. You give up on trying to set boundaries. And because of past trauma, we wind up people-pleasing and feeling guilty over actions we have no business feeling remorse over. This garbage has to stop. And if you're ready to learn, you don't always have to feel bad and remain accessible to people who disregard you, your time, and your feelings. Then grab a bottle of nail polish and let's talk. I had a viewer ask an interesting question. They want to know why, when you block your ex, your behavior isn't just as bad as typical avoidant behavior, because it's like you are ignoring and stonewalling someone, right? Terabyter352 asks, I genuinely wanted to build a life with a woman only to find out she was a dismissive avoidant. She was dating multiple men in secret, not mentioning it to any of us that there were others she was seeing, and she was only using me as a backup option. After almost a year of pursuing her, she ran into me randomly out in public holding another man. Well, that was it for me. I didn't even bother explaining myself. I just wished her well, blocked her, and never spoke to her again. When I applauded Terabyter on his strong boundaries, he responded, sure, but it sounds exactly like avoidant behavior that you mentioned in your videos. It doesn't mean it didn't hurt me though. It hurt like hell feeling like I had no other option than treating her that way. And I'm sure if she ever watched your videos, she would claim that's exactly how she was treated by me. So my question is, why is it not okay when they do it? But it's okay when we do it to them. I'm not proud of cutting her off. I've struggled with guilt about it. But in the same breath, I don't know how else I could have handled it. From my experience with her, she was very good at making me feel like I was the problem. Any kind of honest conversation was deflected back to me, so for me, there was no point in talking any further. I just ghosted her. It makes me feel like I've lowered myself to their behavior. Why are my actions justified, but hers are not? Terabyter, I'm incredibly sorry that this happened to you, and running out into her in public with another man, oh my gosh, what a complete punch in the gut. No wonder you reacted that way, and you're right. If she always blames you for everything, no matter what the narrative or the scenario, there probably was no point in even trying to call her out on how much her deceitful actions hurt you. Now, as far as your question goes, actions can be the same with very different intentions. And if you walk into any courtroom, the defense will be more than happy to explain it's all about intent. How much guilt should you actually feel because of something that went down? The intent is all that matters. Now, every scenario is different, and there are people out there who block others because they've been so traumatized that they are trying to emotionally protect themselves. They are trying to survive. But I feel like in this scenario with this woman who I'll call Alexandra, if Alexandra had ever blocked you, she would be protecting herself from the uncomfortable conversation of having to admit her actions to you. She knew what she was doing was wrong because she lied about it to every single one of the men that she was seeing. And if she didn't think what she was doing was wrong, then she is playing out some toxic revenge fantasy by using men because she feels like men deserve it. Something in her past told her using people was okay. And when you blocked her, your body was telling you being used by someone is not okay. Your gut was right when you didn't feel the need to explain yourself. There is no need. She knows what she's doing is wrong, or she would have been upfront about it instead of always trying to make you feel like a loser because she doesn't like herself. People who love themselves don't make a habit of putting other people down. They want to see others thrive, and you can get to a place where you want that for her too. But it is also important you get to a place where you can feel bad for somebody, but you don't feel guilty about keeping your distance. You said you don't feel like you're thriving. In fact, blocking her is sinking down to her level, right? There are relationship coaches out there giving men the advice that if a woman that you are vested in plays around with other guys and you find out, she's for the streets, and now it's okay to use her purely as bedroom fun. And that would be sinking down to her level. And it's a logical advice anyway, because when we really love and cherish and respect someone, we are not going to use them. Maybe something in you, like an old attachment wound, sensed something unavailable in Alexandra. It was attractive to you and you went after it. But she knew you were available, and she took advantage of it. Let me tell you something that's really messed up. People like Alexandra might not be thinking about it as taking advantage so much as they are thinking about their own survival. I have a popular video called Avoidant Women Discard Good Men, which I will link down below, talking about how I have a woman in my life who I'm close to who does to men exactly what you are describing, and it's not about the particular men at all. People like Alexandra, it's all about them. They're probably not giving you very much thought. They're going to make sure they come out on top, and she's probably gotten away with it thus far because she's manipulative and charming and cute. And hey, when you're 30 and cute, you can always find another sucker, but it gets old. Games get old. Cute people get old, and let me tell you something about aging game players. If you spend your life using men or cheating on women, eventually your reality skews into a lens that has no respect for anyone of the opposite gender. You see them all as fools who fall for your manipulations. And you're doing yourself a great disservice because now you go through the motions in relationships, maybe getting a little hit of dopamine, but never any real fulfillment. There are a lot of YouTubers who try to convince you, you are the prize. Men should chase you, you're the prize. Women should chase you, you are the prize. Well, here is the problem with that. Men and women, we're all human. We all want a prize. If you don't feel like your partner is worth snagging, why the heck would you want them in the first place? So yeah, we want someone to feel lucky they're with us, but we want to feel lucky too. And being chosen feels good, but you don't want to be in a place where if one person doesn't choose you, you're worthless. And I think we can navigate this by understanding that we have our own value. We don't have to prove it by demanding others recognize our worth before they've even gotten to know us, or become our personal butler, or drop everything when we snap our fingers. We wouldn't even respect someone like that because it's not attractive behavior? Why do we feel guilty cutting off people who use us? Well, I believe a lot of these issues, like feeling bad for people who use us, starts with a problem of low self-worth. And that's why you see so many women these days in social media comments saying they never let a man pay for their dinner because they don't want to owe them anything physical afterwards. But if you're out there on dates believing that giving up your body for a plate of food is in any way an equal trade, that is trauma mixed with a fundamental lack of self-worth. If you don't value yourself more than a $23.99 plate of all-you-can-eat shrimp, you will be the one eaten alive out in the dating world. It's our own scarcity-driven beliefs that tell us a guy buys us food, so now we have to sleep with him. No, you don't. And no man that has ever respected women would ever expect you to do that. And if they do, they're a skis who's only intended to use you anyway. Don't feel bad. I feel bad that you never had someone in your life tell you that a man can pay for a date that you can enjoy without having to crack open the toy box. And a lot of men complain that women use guys all the time. They use them for meals, and absolutely, there are women out there who do that. But not all of them do. And if you, as the date, aren't doing it, then there's no reason for you to feel bad. You haven't earned that guilt. Your intention is not the same. And if a guy won't give you a fair chance because he's developed this mindset that all women are shallow whores looking to use men, that guy needs help too. He never learned that he could be centered and generous without overgiving to people who exploit his kindness. Maybe he never had a mentor or a parent teach him that he has value and he can set boundaries too. Now he thinks all women are out to get him, and I'd argue that all these people on social media yelling for the head of an entire opposite gender are coming from a background where they were never taught boundaries, and as a result, really bad things happened. Or they did have boundaries, but one person didn't listen and really violated their boundaries, and they had no one important explain to them that it wasn't normal and it wasn't okay. So they're just left to deal with what happened the best way they can, but they never learned how to deal with that in a healthy way, which I believe now is why we're seeing it show up in the form of calling for a public beheading of anyone of the opposite gender. When we go online, and we're not yet at the point where we feel okay about blocking our ex, but we're still posting memes about not taking people who love you for granted, we want the whole world to see our pain because the person we really want to care about it is looking the other way. Welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also need to take care of the inner half, because it's important to understand that if we actually feel bad for people who abuse their relationship with us, we've probably been through more abuse than we deserved. And Terabyter, I am so sorry that you wasted a year of your life pursuing a woman who was not serious about you. But it's not just about you. You mentioned she had the wool pulled over on all these guys, so it's really like, this is just who she is. And even if she eventually pairs up, it will be with a guy who can do the most for her. And she'll probably cheat on him too. You can tell in her actions she doesn't respect men. She doesn't appreciate her relationships with people who care about her. The one thing I could suggest for the future, if you find yourself in this predicament again, ask yourself, if this woman was serious about me, if she was crazy about me, would it be taking a year to try to pin her down and then I still can't get her? Then, if you decide to pull away and she comes back strong, notice, is her attention consistent, or does she blow back into your life for a couple of weeks and pull away again? And here's the bottom line. People can do things to us that would naturally cause us to want to avoid them. But that doesn't mean we are exactly like an avoidant attacher. If you discard someone who's showing up for you and callously write them off, it is perfectly reasonable to expect that person to walk away and avoid you. It's only the shock of the discard mixed with our attachment anxiety and a modern dating atmosphere that tells us we need to remain accessible, remain friends, and we end up feeling bad for setting boundaries. But I am telling you, people who have a realistic concept of behavior and boundaries will understand if you need time to yourself to heal. It's the dumpers who insist on having continued access to you. They have a lot of problems. Stop asking yourself if you should feel guilty and start asking why you feel guilty about cutting someone off who, in their actions, have already written you off. If she was serious about you and had a fear of losing you, she never would have effed around. When you blocked her, she found out. And look, if you block someone or you wish them well, if they did you dirty, dumped you, and you're like, hey, I need some time, I need some space to heal, and they still won't leave you alone, stay away from them. They were probably super unhinged to begin with, and your rose-colored glasses did not allow you to see it. And if you would like an outside opinion from someone who's not wearing those glasses for your ex in a relationship, I'll go ahead and leave my phone session information in the description below. And if you just want to share your breakup story and the lessons you learned with others on this channel, I will also link my Gmail in the description below. Terabyter, if you are feeling guilty, really take the time to evaluate what was the intent. Is this guilt that you have actually earned? Are you the one who put the wheels into motion that ultimately forced you to feel like you had to block someone that you cared about? I think once time passes and you feel better, you won't feel so bad that you did it. I've had people in the past tell me that I'm too harsh, but when I hear stories like this, or like the woman in the beginning of the video who got plastic surgery because she decided her life was worth nothing unless she got her bum of an ex back, it only reinforces that maybe I'm not being harsh enough. I understand there's people who can get through breakups and let go and let God, but I am not talking to those people. I am talking to anyone out there who resonates with who I used to be. Someone who just takes a bunch of crap and says thank you for the privilege. This channel is for people who empathize too much with people who are abusing them. People who struggle to see there is a difference between blocking someone because you've used them for everything you can take from them and now you're moving on with your life, and blocking someone because you've been so beat down in life and in the relationship that if you have to see them every day, you can't move on with your life. I'm harsh because a relationship can really alter the trajectory of our lives. They say choosing your life partner is the most important decision you'll ever make, and I believe this. I'm harsh because I wish someone had been harsh with me. I wish someone had taken me by the shoulders a long time ago, rattled my brains, and told me the harsh truth that sticking around for a-holes because you feel bad is no way to live. If you have any kind of voice that is telling you that you deserve better, please subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be here with you every Friday telling you that you are worth more than what you are accepting until I am pearl pull in the face. I'll put a video about lessons my avoidant exes taught me that actually improved my relationships right here. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting the other half.